In this video, I will compare double single action and LEM trigger configurations on this HK45 Tactical I just picked up. This is currently set up as a V1, which is double single action with a combination thumb safety and decocking lever. I also have the universal LEM conversion kit and will convert it to light and heavy LEM to compare the trigger action and weight. I will then give an overview of HK hammer-fired pistol trigger systems that are currently available based on what I could find on the HK website. My hope is that this video can help demystify some of the HK hammer-fired trigger system variations and give someone looking to purchase an HK pistol an idea of what trigger system they may like to start with. The LEM trigger system is technically double action only, but in practice it operates more like a single action with a longer take-up. I think the title of double action only scares people away from the LEM trigger system. Langdon Tactical did a great video on this too. I will link that in the description. If you have any more information, experience, or insight on these pistols or any HK hammer-fired pistol and the trigger systems, please contribute to the conversation in the comment section down below. V1 configuration as I bought it with the thumb safety decocker, double single action, long, heavy, double action pull. If you cock the hammer and decock it, it drops the hammer to a safety notch, not all the way forward. So there's a little bit of light take up, and then the rest of that double action pull. Single action, a little bit of take up. I can feel the firing pin safety block being disengaged. Nice defined wall. A little bit of creep, crisp break, a little bit of over travel, and the reset. Let's get a baseline for the weight. 5.5 pounds. 5.5 pounds. 5.5 pounds. These are the contents of the Universal LEM Conversion Kit, part number 260204. It is for the HK45 and USP and HK45 Compact and USP Compact. The shorter of the two mainsprings is for the compact models, so I won't be using that. Comes with the cocking piece, the hammer, a little hammer return spring, the cross shaft, a new sear, and 2 trigger return springs. You can see this one on the left has a square, heavier profile, and this one is a round, thinner profile. This is what makes it light LEM. This is what makes it heavy LEM. Supposedly there's about a 2-pound difference between the 2 trigger pull weights. I will be installing both and checking that. I don't know if this mainspring is the same weight as the one that's in the gun currently, but since it's part of the LEM conversion kit and presumably what an LEM model will come with, I will be installing it for the testing. Got the LEM kit installed, bit of a pain. Mainspring is swapped out, internals are swapped out, and I have the lighter of the 2 trigger return springs installed. So this is the light LEM configuration. This is what you would get if you bought this gun as a V7 rather than a V1. A long take up to get to the wall, but it's very light. And then once you get to the wall, the trigger pull is exactly the same as the single action of the double single action variant. The wall feels the same, the creep, the break, the over travel, and the reset all feel the same. It's just that now you have a long, light take up to get to it. Let's say you fire it, you have a light primer strike for whatever reason, and you want to hit it again. You can, it's just that now the pull is a bit harder. I suppose it makes sense that they call this double action because it does cock the hammer and then release it. 2 actions with 1 trigger pull. It's just that it's very light to get up to the wall, and then it feels like single action after that. So let's see what the weight is. Just a hair under 6 pounds. 6 pounds. 6 pounds. So it seems to be a bit heavier than the single action of the double single action. None of these components are broken in, but none of the components in the V1 configuration were broken in too, so I think this is a pretty direct comparison between the V1 and the V7 trigger action and weight. I swapped out the trigger return spring for the heavier of the two that came with the LEM kit, so now this is a heavy LEM, and noticeable difference in the take up here to get to the wall, and the brake is noticeably heavier as well. Let's see what it reads on the gauge. 8 pounds. 8 pounds. 8 pounds. Heavy LEM has a heavier take up and a heavier brake by about 2 pounds than the light LEM. The P30, HK45, USP series, and P2000 all have LEM variants that operate in the same manner. None of them have decocking mechanisms or manual safeties. As far as I know, all LEM models have bobbed hammers. There is a light and heavy LEM, which is just a difference in spring combinations, as I showed with the HK45 just a minute ago. The P30 V1, P2000 V2, HK45 V7, and USP V7 are the LEM variants of their respective model. There's a bit more variation in the double single action pistol configurations with different decocking and safety mechanisms. All double single action P30 variants have a rear decocking button. The P30S models are equipped with an optional thumb safety in addition to the rear decocking button and are double single action only. This is the V3 P30 that has the decocker button on the rear of the slide and no thumb safety, and of course it is double single action. The V3 double single action P2000 model only has a rear decocking button and no option for a thumb safety. The USP series V1 is the double single action with a combination safety decocker lever, just like the HK45. The Mark 23 is double single action with a thumb safety and a separate decocking lever. There are no LEM variations of the Mark 23, they only have the one trigger system. Of course, there are other trigger options with different V numbers for a given model, but those generally are just a safety lever on the right versus left side or an ambidextrous safety option. There are some double action only models that aren't LEM variants, but I don't believe those are current production models. There are different model numbers for light and heavy LEM as well. The ones I have listed are what is currently on HK's site and what you will be able to readily find for purchase new in the United States. There are some discontinued models or trigger systems that I have not listed that may be available on the used market. There are also trigger variants specific to some law enforcement or government agencies. An example of this, according to Wikipedia, is the P30 V4.1, which is an LEM variant designed for Swiss law enforcement and their requirements and desired performance. I hope I've given you a good overview of the different double single action and LEM variants of the HK hammer-fired pistols that are out there, and I hope my comparison of an LEM to a double single action for a given gun, this HK45, was helpful. Yes, technically LEM is double action only, but really the best way to think about it in terms of performance and feel is a single action with a longer but light take up. As always, pertinent links will be in the description down below, and as always, thank you for watching.